After a career in the military, I applied for a position with Universal Technical Institute as an admissions representative, and I thought it was a perfect fit because, number one, I'm a car guy, and this was a school that one of the courses that it taught and was well known for was their automotive program. And I think even more importantly, I was just a big believer in career and technical education, and saw an opportunity to be able to share that message with educators and students throughout the country. And I also knew with time that I spent in the military that I wasn't alone, that there were a lot of people who wanted to be plumbers, electricians, be involved in culinary arts and diesel and different fields, and had similar experiences. There was a stereotype for the student who went to the vocational center on the loser bus in the afternoon. And I thought, you know, if there was something about that that I could change, if we could celebrate our hands-on heroes, I would love to be a part of that. And UTI and Skills USA and ACTE and FFA and those organizations all gave me that opportunity to actually make a career doing something that I was passionate about. We said to, for example, a culinary instructor, if you go to a high school's website, there's a little blurb on every class that they teach, and some of these blurbs are 50 years old. So what we said was go back and think of yourself as this. If you're a culinary instructor, what if you said, I teach science, technology, engineering, and math, and I use culinary as my tool to teach it? If you could change your mindset, you don't have to change your curriculum because you're already doing it. But if you could change your mindset and start to identify and say, hey, today we're going to talk about chemistry because we're going to bake bread. And what makes bread rise is a chemical reaction. If you could start interjecting some of that and identify yourself as a STEM class, you're going to save your program. And not only are you going to save your program, but your program could be highlighted in your school as one of the top STEM classes. It's the stereotype. I mean, there's still no question about it. You know, I even mentioned in my talk last night, the young lady who comes home and says, Mom and Dad, I want to be a diesel technician. Mom and Dad love her. They're not trying to be mean. But in their mind, that's a bad decision. They consider that a bad choice. Not necessarily because of the stereotype of being a woman. We need so many more women in STEM careers, but just the fact that no, that's not where I see you going. We've always dreamed about you going to college. And I think people say, is it the school counselors? Is it peer pressure? I think more than anything else, it's loving parents who unfortunately make some bad decisions in steering their children away from what could be a wonderful career opportunity. First of all, on that legislation, it's just amazing to think that 100 years ago, people were smart enough to sit down and think, why are we teaching these kids Latin and Greek? And, you know, 80% of the population worked in agriculture. It had no relation. We should be teaching them about soil and cows. So it's very interesting, really important piece of legislation. In my mind, it ranks with the 13th and the 19th Amendment to the Constitution in its importance. But I see that importance coming back again. That's what I see in the future. I see a change in attitude. This younger generation, when they become adults, they're not going to have the stigma of career and technical education. I think that they're going to realize the value that a plumber brings or an electrician brings or a culinary, or being able to have an automobile, which is nothing more than computers on wheels, as many as 50 or 60 different computers interacting through different languages, so sophisticated. I think people are going to start to realize that those careers are just as worthwhile and just as important as a career in academia. I hope it's more than just me hoping, because it's a passion of mine, but I really do see some movement in government and through education. ACTE is making a huge difference as well in being out there in Congress and talking about the importance, and we're seeing, you know, new grant opportunities, new scholarship opportunities every day appearing for students who choose career and technical education.